Yo, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy Kareem Supreme. Yes, March 29th, 2021. And 30 years ago on this day, um, Five Heartbeats came out. Five Heartbeats. 30 years, y'all. Yeah, this is one of my favorite movies. I remember when this movie first came out, a friend of mine, my homeboy Dave, he was like, yo, man, you gotta watch this movie. He was like, yeah, me and my parents, we went to the movies to go see this movie about the Temptations. He kept saying it was about the Temptations. I was like, really? He was like, yeah, man. He was like, it's called the Five Heartbeats. And I was like, really? He was like, yeah, man. He was like, it's this dude that looked like your Uncle Richard. I was like, what dude? He was like, it's this dude that played in the movie. His name is Choir Boy. He was like, you got to check it out. He was like, he looked just like your Uncle Richard. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to have to check that out. And so later on that day, we had went to, we was on our way to McDonald's or somewhere. And we walked past this VHS store, this VHS rental store, and it was a sign they had a poster that said "Coming soon" to VHS, Five Heartbeats, and he was like, "Yeah, that's the movie I'm talking about." He was like, he pointed at Choir Boy Tico Wells. He was like, "He looked like your Uncle Richard." I was like, "Well, damn, he do kind of look like him." I was like, "Yeah, he do look like him a little bit." And he was like, "Yeah, it was a good movie. You got to see, you got to check it out." So months later, it came on cable. Maybe like 6 months later, I saw it on Cinemax, and I was like, "Oh man, this is a good movie," And I remember saying to myself, "Man, it came on cable quick." I would say like 6, 7 months later, 6, 7 months after I heard about it being in the movie theaters, it was on Cinemax. Come to find out, it flopped. It flopped in the theaters. Robert Townsend was on the Breakfast Club talking about it. He said it bombed at the box office, and the reason why it bombed, the reason why it flopped, was because New Jack City came out that same month, and you know, people wanted some action. I guess they didn't want to go to the movies to see a movie about a singing group. Especially a group that they'd never heard of. There wasn't no such thing as the Five Heartbeats. You know what I mean? Until this movie came out. This movie wasn't based on an actual group that existed called the Five Heartbeats. It was based on the Dells. It was loosely based on the singing group the Dells because in the movie they showed how black groups would have white people on the album cover because whites were accepting of black culture as long as they couldn't see their faces. This was during the Jim Crow era. And for all those that don't know, the record industry participated in Jim Crow too. Um, you saw what's why do fools fall in love? The situation that happened with Frankie Lyman and the teenagers. That was happening all throughout the record industry. In fact, it was standard industry practice to get a young black group or a young black singer to sign a messed up deal, to sign away their publishing and their likeness, their image, and everything. You know what I mean? And yeah, that was standard. A lot of groups suffered because of that. You know, that led a lot of talented singers to drugs and alcohol abuse. Because they couldn't retain royalties. They couldn't collect publishing. It happened to the rap groups in the early stages of hip hop too. It happened to the Sugar Hill Gang. It happened to a lot of successful black groups. And what this movie also showcased was when I don't know if you remember, there was a scene where they were trying to get a record deal, and they brought in the Five Horsemen. It was a group of white singers, and the white record company exec wanted the white boys to do the version of I got nothing but love for you, and they were looking like, why would this white group? Why would you think this white group would do our song better than us? But what they were doing were they were cashing in on the culture. because back in the days they would take black songs and have white boys or white singers cover them. You know, um, Elvis Presley. Elvis Presley got most of his music from black people. You know what I mean? He covered other black songs. They were paid a couple $100. They would get, the record companies would give the black artists hush money, and then Elvis would go on to make millions off of it. Like Blue Suede Shoes, that was written by a black man. I can't remember his name to save my life. I forgot, but he's on YouTube on some talk show talking about it, And he said Elvis Presley took his sound, his style, and everything. And You Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog was covered by this same guy. Elvis Presley took his song, Nothing But a Hound Dog, recorded it, made millions. And also Jailhouse Rock. That was originally done by a black group. Think about it. What what white person would sit down and write Jailhouse Rock? I mean, not saying it couldn't happen, but Elvis Presley was the greatest thief. He's the thief of rock and roll, not the king. Chuck Berry is the true king, but they used to do stuff like that. They would take black songs, black ideas, and colonize them. Towards the 80s and 90s, they had a new image. The new Negroes, they would have immigrants, redo black music. They wanted to cash in on the culture. Like white executives will have like immigrants from the UK or Africa or wherever the case may be, and they would redo black American songs. For example, Milli Vanilli. That was originally a Southern Texas black group, and a white record exec had these German dudes redo the song, lip sync the song. They didn't redo it; they just lip synced over it. And they ended up getting caught. It became a big scandal. The truth got exposed, and the original Milli Vanilli, the group from Texas, never really got compensated for it. And it also happened again with the group Snap back in the early 90s. I Got the Power. I Got the Power. That was originally done by this rapper named Chill Rob G. And once again, the rapper Turbo from Snap, they had him redo the song. And they left Chill Rob G's voice on Snap's version. It's getting kind of hectic. That's Chill Rob G. You can find both. You can find both versions of I Got the Power on YouTube. The original one is Chill Rob G. The second one was done by a foreign black group from the UK called Snap. That's record industry politics is what I call them. If y'all don't believe me, look it up for yourself. Same thing with CNC Music Factory. They had Martha Walsh from the Weather Girls singing "Everybody Dance Now," but in the video they put like some foreign black chick, to lip sync her part. It was a mess, But all that started in the '50s with white groups, doing covers of black groups, black songs, and stuff. It just was a mess. I call it cashing in on the culture. But that's what the Five Horsemen was about in this movie. And then when me and my cousins first saw that in the Five Heartbeats, when we first saw that scene, we was rolling because we knew exactly what they was hitting on. And another part was when the Five Heartbeats came out with their first album, they put white boys on the front cover, and the group wasn't happy about that. The manager wasn't happy about it. That was actually the Dells. The Dells, that happened to a lot of groups, but most memorable was the Dells. They had an album, and the record company thought it would only it'll sell better if white people was on the cover. And they did that. It just was a mess, man. They couldn't accept our image. They loved our culture. They liked our culture. They like our food. They like our music. but they don't like us. You know, it's still a lot of that going on today. It's sad, but it's true. And if y'all don't have this movie, y'all need to add it to your collection. You see, I got a monster collection over here. I got all types of DVDs. You know, that's what I do. I collect. I even got a basket full of DVDs right here. Y'all can see that. But yeah, all the classics. Yeah. If y'all do have this movie, I suggest y'all rewatch it. That's what I'm gonna do when I get off this. When I get off this live. Shout out to my boy Kev from Brooklyn. Shout out to my brother Big Phil. Shout out to my brother Tim Dog too. Yeah, shout out to the FBA crew, Foundational Black Americans. Shout out to the B1 Brigade too. Yeah, the Five Heartbeats, 30 years. This movie influenced this movie influenced the likes of Suge Knight. There's a scene where Big Red hung I think it was Flash Gordon. Oh no, Flash from the Ebony Sparks. He allegedly, no, he did hang Flash off the hotel balcony. He was like, my hours are from 9 to 5. And allegedly, when Suge Knight saw that, it was the funniest thing in the world to him. And months later, he did the same thing allegedly to Vanilla Ice. I don't know if y'all remember that. Look that up. Months after this movie was released, Suge Knight did the same thing allegedly to Vanilla Ice. And one of my favorite songs in this movie was "Heart Is a House of Love." The soundtrack was good too. Y'all got to check the soundtrack out. It had After Seven on there. It had the Dells, I believe, on there. It was a thorough soundtrack. One of my favorite scenes was when they sung "House Is a Heart of Love." You know, they were at a talent show competing, and everybody was booing them at first until they did the acapella. That blew everybody away. And I remember going to school asking people what was their favorite scene, and they said the same thing: "The Heart Is a House of Love" scene. You know, that was captivating. I can imagine how people felt at the premiere in the theater at the premiere. But yeah, y'all got any questions or comments? Let me know. You know, I like to hear other people's point of views and stuff. You know, I'm trying to figure out, is there anything I didn't like about this movie? I think the only thing I didn't like was I didn't like how the brothers were fighting. You know, I know that happens a lot, but you know, they was fighting over girls. You know what I mean? It just, you know, that kind of bothered me. There is some dysfunctional family members out there, but man, that was wrong. But at the end of the movie, Duck and his brother, they reconciled. They let bygones be bygones, but they didn't talk to each other for years. That's the only part I didn't really like. I'm glad they put it in there because that happens a lot, more than you think. Not just with brothers, with sisters, with cousins. And, it was a good movie. From beginning to end, it was a great movie. They don't make movies like this no more. Now when you see movies, they're predictable. They hardly use Black Americans as the lead. They always got to get foreign. That's another thing. What they did in the music industry, they doing it in Hollywood. They getting foreign blacks to play um, black icons. Yeah, y'all enjoy this. Y'all drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe, do what y'all got to do. Do what it do. Let me know what's up. Drop a comment. Peace.